of Long Island Sound, which lay 2 miles south, via a straight path of open water. Bounty was moored to the exposed south side of the dock, where the fetch to the Sound invites trouble. Svensson knew that if Bounty remained where she was, and Sandy arrived, the storm's winds and surge could race up that fairway, presenting the possibility of serious damage to the ship. Svensson, who had become aware of the hurricane 2 days earlier, thought there were better choices than heading offshore. Bounty could simply sail farther up the Thames to where the U.S. Coast Guard Academy's tall ship Eagle had docked. Bounty could sail east, to where the city of New Bedford, Massachusetts had a hurricane barrier, a stone wall across its deep harbor. Bounty could also sail farther north, to Boston. Svensson even thought sailing toward Bermuda, 650 miles to the southeast, might be an option. From the moment the crew awoke on Thursday, October 25, 2012, Bounty had been crammed with activity. The crew was preoccupied with more important considerations than their coming departure. Company was expected, special visitors. Bounty's owner, a wealthy Long Island businessman, had invited the crew of the Navy's newest submarine, the Mississippi, for a day sail aboard Bounty on Long Island Sound. Soon after daybreak, the crew was busy preparing. One team washed the decks. 2 hoses were neatly stowed on deck, one to reach forward to the bow, and the other to extend to the stern. On the ship's third and lowest deck, down a set of stairs and then a ladder, 2 diesel engines powered electric generators, whose most important function was to run the electric bilge pumps that kept the ship afloat. Without pumps, like any other leaky wooden boat, Bounty would eventually sink. Below the floorboards of the third deck, which housed crew quarters and fuel and water tanks, pipes and hoses extended from the 2 pumps to the bilge space. The hoses sucked up water in the bilge space and discharged it amidships back into the sea. But the process could also be reversed, and seawater could be sucked up into the deck-washing hoses. As the team used this seawater that bright autumn morning, one team member noticed something different, troubling. Instead of a powerful stream, the washdown hoses gave him barely enough spray to wet the deck boards. Normally, the pressure in the hoses would be too high if some of the water wasn't diverted overboard. Yet this morning, even using the full capacity of the pump, the crewman could not fully charge the hose. He mentioned the problem to his 2 teammates, who seemed unconcerned, and then reported his observation to the ship's engineer. In the end, the pump problem was ignored. The sun was high when the crew from the Mississippi arrived at the city pier. Bounty's owner, Robert Hansen, and her captain, Robin Walbridge, greeted them. Then Bounty's crew cast off the dock lines and, engines running, pointed her lance-like up-tilted bowsprit south on the Thames. Bounty's crew led the visiting submarine sailors as they climbed aloft in the 111-foot-high rope rigging, teaching them how to set the sails in a light breeze. For a while, the canvas billowed white and full until the wind died. Bounty circled the ledge lighthouse, a red brick 2-story cube just off the mouth of the Thames, drifted in place for a while, and about mid-afternoon motored back to the city pier. Walbridge made a point to catch one of his guests, New London dockmaster Barbara Neff, before she went ashore. He told her that although Bounty had originally been scheduled to spend another night in the city, he had decided to leave that evening due to the oncoming hurricane. He explained that sailing around the hurricane could give Bounty a good boost of following winds after the storm passed. Neff was mildly disappointed. When she got ashore, she and some others planned to set up a Halloween corn maze on the waterfront. She thought that Bounty's tall masts in the background would add a nice touch. However, having been acquainted with Walbridge for over 15 years, she knew him to be low-key and intelligent, never cocky or pompous, and she felt his explanation for the change of plans both understandable and reassuring. She trusted his judgment. As Walbridge talked with Neff, his crew accepted an invitation to visit the Mississippi. Walbridge joined them, but was among the first to return to Bounty sometime before 5 o'clock. Now Chief Mate Svensson saw his chance. Asking Walbridge to join him on the dock and away from the rest of the crew, he told the skipper about the apprehension among the junior officers. "There are people concerned about the hurricane," Svensson told his boss. "I want to discuss options."